Sitting very still one day, sitting very still one day, sitting very still one day, I heard a tree sing a song. That's right, it sang a long song, 'cause it has the time. Sang songs of the growing things, the green things, the great and small things, and of the glory of the light which brings us life. It said we got roots running so very deep that they meet, and I'm here stuck on repeat singing we got roots running so very deep that they meet. Birds like I, entranced in a train, are just singing harmony. After all, everything moves with a majestic rhythm and beat.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SoulFood Books tonight. Yeah. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all of it. I think what it all means is that it's a time when we give thanks and love to the ones we thank for and the ones that we love. And we do that in whatever faith, in whatever way that we do. The way that I do it is I try to turn on the radio and listen to the music that makes me think of home and remind me of home. Tonight, I don't need to turn on the radio. I got it right here. Mr. Jim Page, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, Clint. And thank you, everybody. It is a beautiful time of year. Yes, cold, wet, dark, and rainy. Like I said, it's a beautiful time of year. Okay, I'll start with that song then. When the good rains finally came, we stood out on the cover. Watched the dry earth drink it up like a long lost love. We opened up our senses to let it in. Felt so good to feel that way again. love the water, let it rain. Let it wash away your pain. There are reasons to explain. If you love the water, let it rain. Long time ago when the world was young, innocent life beneath the summery sun, desert flowers in the wild plantain, waiting for the weather to bring the rain. And if you love the water, let it rain. Let it wash away your pain. There are reasons to explain. If you love the water, let it rain. Time is such a fleeting thing, you know, it comes and it goes. It ebbs and it flows, waterfalls and rainbows. If you love the water, let it rain. Let it wash away your pain. There are reasons to explain. If you love the water, let it rain. There was a time we kept ourselves apart, surrounded by the dryness in our life is a natural mystery, they say. So I guess we'll just let nature have its way. And if you love the water, let it rain. Let it wash away your pain. There are reasons to explain. If you love the water, let it rain. If you love the water, yeah, so there you go. That goes out to Steve Poole, the weatherman. Nobody ever loves those people, you know? All they're doing is saying, hey, it's raining outside. Yeah, fuck off, you asshole. It's just saying it's raining. You know? Can I get more of this? And less of the DI. The song is called Mainung. Mainung is the name of a town. It's a little agricultural town in Taiwan. I was there a few years back. I played a music festival called the Mainung Music Festival. In the valley of the butterfly, time doesn't go very fast. Things just seem to last. You may know, I saw a butterfly dance like a butterfly does. It made me think about how clumsy I was. You may know, I saw a man on a bicycle balancing a load of wood. His balance was that good. You may know, I saw a family of 5 on a motor scooter going out for a drive. It's a big around world. Yes, it is all around the world. It's a big around world. Yes, it is all around the world. You may know there was a temple on the hillside. I prayed to the Buddha for the flower to open up wide. You may know I drank the good strong ginger tea. may know there was a melon so sweet, juicy on my sweater, and something like an apple, only better. You may know the sun flew by on a butterfly breeze, a ricochet wing way up in the trees. You may know my spirit got lighter and my head got clear, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna stay right here. You may know. It's a big around world, yes it is, all around the world. It's a big around world, yes it is, all around the world. You may know all around the circle eternity flows, but after a while you gotta go, I suppose. You may know everybody's got a home and I got mine. Don't say goodbye, say see you next time. You may know. You know. It's a big around world, yes it is, all around the world. It's a big around world, yes it is, all around the world. It's a big around world, yes it is, all around the world. It's a big around world, yes it is, all around the world. Song written by this is a song written by a Marine Corps vet friend of mine named Joe Paquin. Well, that's right, you know Joe. That's right, a prayer. I mean, the next time you see somebody sitting around drinking all the time, sometimes there's reasons for it. He used to sit outside of City Hall, crack a couple of beers and pray for peace. One time he hitchhiked to Washington, D.C. to join in on a march against the war. He used to tell me all the time about the times that they'd let him stand at ease. Then he snapped back to attention, crack another beer and pray for peace. One time he walked to Sacramento to show his dirty feet to Governor Ron. Next morning he woke up in the desert, face down, with next to nothing on. But he'd always shake it off, sing a song to soothe his savage beast. Then he'd wind up in some dive, bum another beer and pray for peace. And the way it is the way it was back then. The way it was is the way it is again. Nothing's changed except those boys and men, at least the ones that live, see the way it is again. Now he's back outside of City Hall, chained to a bench with his old sign. Still says I am a Vietnam veteran, and my battle cry is for no more children dying. And he knows his final breath will be the only thing to bring his soul to ease. Till then he'll keep on keeping on, have another beer and pray for peace. And the way it is the way it was back then. The way it was is the way it is again. Nothing's changed except those boys and men, at least the ones that live, be the way it is again. Thank you. I keep thinking that after all these years and generations, and maybe the internet will help. I don't know. I just read something the other day in the paper that governments are going to be having a conference to decide what to do about the internet because nobody's controlling it. And they can't have that. It's directly related, of course, to WikiLeaks, because WikiLeaks blows the whistle on internal U.S. documents, other people's documents as well, Pentagon stuff. It's the Pentagon Papers of the 21st century, right? And if it wasn't for the Pentagon Papers and that sort of thing, we wouldn't have cured malaria. We wouldn't have, slavery would still be on and on and on. So, you know, what do you want to do? You want to put these people in jail, or you want to encourage it? I would like to encourage it myself. Governments, however, want to get together and discuss how to stop this sort of thing. But I think, you know, if it can remain free, it can only be a good thing, because eventually it will hopefully short-circuit the short-term memory control thing that they've got going on. Because as long as we forget, we keep doing the same thing. We keep sticking our hands in those fan blades because we don't remember that the guy just before us had his hands chopped off in those fan blades, but we don't remember. So we stick our hands in the fan blades, on and on and on. And if we can just start to remember that these wars are never our idea. They never are. They're always somebody else's idea. We always have to be cheerled into it. We always have to be jingoized into it. We always have to be pushed, prodded, and threatened with arrest. Mine was Vietnam. Okay, that was my generation's thing. And we were run out of town, threatened with arrest, shot at, jailed, on and on and on, so that we would go do that. People don't just kind of ordinarily want to. So I think that eventually, I may be stupid, I may be naive, but oh boy. Loved your sweet country for all of your life, like your mother and father before you. And the land runs deep, so deep in your blood, your flesh and your bone and your sinews. Descendants and ancestors deep as it goes, a relative circle as far as your eye. You can all be undone in the flash of an instant. Mechanical thunder that bruises the sky. Bruises the sky. Goodbye to my relatives all of my life. Never again will I see. You won't have a name when they fly the big airplanes. Collateral damage is all you'll be. All you'll be. From a faraway place where the language is strange, they come with their angry machines, and the clouds rain a metal that hurts when it falls, and it shatters the ground, making everything scream. And the children run crippled, the old people hide, the babies are caught in the rubble debris. But the strangers don't know you, you are only a number, underreported on color TV. Color TV. Goodbye to my relatives all of my life. Never again will I see. won't have a name when they fly the big airplanes. Collateral damage is all you'll be, all you'll be. A mother is more than a number to a baby who now has to grow up on its own. And a grandfather blinded and crippled at his age is more than just a statistical drone. All of those people are human, and humans are more than a footnote. This cynical language of killing is killing us, cut like a bone in humanity's throat, humanity's throat. Goodbye to my relatives, all of my life, never again will I see. You won't have a name when they fly the big airplanes. Collateral damage is all you'll be, all you'll be. So if you see a ghost in the lonely wind blowing like shrapnel, the sound of the rain, and it's speaking a language you don't understand, but you know what it means just the same. There's no time for innocence, all of that's over now. Don't say that you didn't know. When they come to collect for the damages owed, the collateral may be your own. Maybe your own. Goodbye to my relatives, all of my life, never again will I see. You won't have a name when they fly the big airplanes. Collateral damage is all you'll be, all you'll be. Thank you. Coming up. My heart is in the mountains, my soul is in the land. I'm stuck here in the city, there's so much I don't understand. Quiet desperation coming over me. I gotta leave, I can't stay another day. There's an emptiness inside of me. Feel too much loneliness out here. There's another place I've got to be. Another place I've got to be. I long for you, Dakota. Smell sweet grass in the plain. See too much meanness, feel too much pain. Quiet desperation coming over me, coming over me. I gotta leave, I can't stay another day. There's an emptiness inside of me. I feel too much loneliness out here. There's another place I've got to be. Another place I've got to be. Thank you. Get this figured out by the time the gig's over. It's always like that. Anime came to the plains and blow to blow. From away up east to where the weather gets cold and the cold winds they blow. And she said, I hear there's been trouble down here. Blow to blow. They said, trouble, we've been getting trouble every year, and the cold winds they blow. Anime made a vow by the fire that night. Blow to blow. That she would give her life to the people's fight, and the cold winds they blow. And then the voice in the whispering of wind said, blow to blow. Somebody's gonna get hurt someday, and the cold winds they blow. In 1972, blow to blow. trouble in Pine Ridge grew, and the cold winds they blew. And in 1973, blow, Dakota, blow, trouble exploded at Wounded Knee, and the cold winds they blew. And in 1974, blow, Dakota, blow, there was a backlash beating at everybody's door, and the cold winds they blow. And then the warning passed from tongue to tongue, blow, Dakota, blow, but there was trouble a-coming with the federal gun, and the cold winds they blow. Oh, they took Anime out the jail one day, blow, Dakota, blow, but that's exactly why they never would say, but the cold winds they blow. Oh, they wanted some facts, they wanted some names, blow, Dakota, blow, but Anime wouldn't tell them a thing, but the cold winds they blow. She said, you can kill me dead, lock me away, blow, Dakota, blow, 'cause that's what you're gonna be doing anyway, and the cold winds they blow. And they said, alright, you're free to go, blow, Dakota, blow, but just don't say we never warned you so, and the cold winds they blow. Anime went up for a walk one night, blow, Dakota, blow, oh, but she never lived to see the morning light, and the cold winds they blow. Oh, it's a mystery, I heard it say, blow, Dakota, blow, how Anime died with the bullet in her head, and the cold winds they blow. Oh, the story spread both far and wide, blow, Dakota, blow, how another daughter of the people had died, in the cold winds they blow. And the people came from many a mile, blow, Dakota, blow, to lay her away in traditional style, while the cold winds blow. And the song upon the drum was sung, blow, Dakota, blow, and the sky covered over and the storm did come with the cold winds that blow. And the voice and the howling the winds did say, blow, Dakota, blow, somebody's gonna pay someday for the cold winds that blow.
Come on.
Well, they all have stories behind them. And if you want me to elaborate a little bit, I will. In actual fact, she was Micmac. She was not from North Dakota. She was from what's called Canada these days, Nova Scotia. But she was involved with the American Indian movement in the 70s, and she was very well liked. But there were a lot of factional fightings going on. And there was a lot of FBI and federal government manipulations. Those are treated peoples, but they're occupied. You know, by legal international rights, they should be able to do whatever in the world they want to. But, you know, just like if Nicaragua gets out of line, we start mining the harbors. When the Indian people start getting out of line, America starts stepping in and doing things. And so they were stepping in and doing things. And they were planting seeds of worry and doubt and, you know, doing what they call bad jacketing, which means I create stories that he, I don't know, is a serial thief or something, car thief or something. I create these stories, and say, that's bad jacketing. He gets a reputation as a serial car thief. Well, they did that with Anna May, and she became, there were people that were convinced that she was a snitch because that rumor was started and it was going around, and somebody gave orders. Somebody gave the orders, and that's the thing that nobody really knows too much about now. Maybe nobody ever will, because certain people have died in the last few years. But somebody gave orders, and then this guy named, John Boy Patton. John Boy has been convicted of it, you know, and it's one of those things. It's like, you know, will the whole story ever come out? Nobody knows. I don't know, but it was part of a very difficult section of American history, you know. I mean, during those days, the political murder rate in Pine Ridge was equal to the political murder rate in Chile after the fall of Allende, to give you some idea. Statistically speaking, greater than, not equal, greater than, because you have a much smaller population. So. Now we're going to spend the night in the rain. We're going to go outside. We're going to pitch a tent, and we're going to sleep. Not because we want to, not because it's REI or anything like that. We're going to go urban camping in downtown Seattle. We're going to do it because we're homeless. I remember when Ronald Reagan, Yes, indeed. I have a friend who was part of the Indian movement, actually, Neelach Butler. She was in Moscow when Reagan was in Moscow. And she was there in the big government room when Reagan addressed the Soviet government body. And he says to them, trying to impress upon them how much better America is than the Soviet Union. He said, why in America, with that wonderful grin of his, why in America we have so much freedom, we allow people to live on the streets if they so choose. He said that. The song was written about Nicholsville. Too cold for rainbows, too cold for sun, too cold for downpours, but we gonna get one. You better run for cover, rally around that flag. Ain't got a raincoat, a plastic bag. Come sit down by the fire. It'll do some good. Gonna keep it going long as we got firewood. Too cold to sit down, too cold to stand, too cold to say hello, but I can shake your hand. This is where we live now, so come on in. As long as you ain't looking for trouble, you're welcome, friend. Pull a sleeping bag over, batten it down. Try to keep it level so you don't roll out on the ground. Living in America, in Tent City. Living in America, in Tent City. cold to be living in tents, too cold to camp. Try to stay dry, everything gets damp. Too cold to be living outside, you can tell it to the cops. Ain't got no other place to go, and the weather won't stop. Take a letter to the mayor, deliver it for me. Tell him we'd all like to see him down here, keeping good company. Yeah, it's too cold. What you gonna do? Gotta live somewhere, and you know it's true. I can't pay the mortgage, can't afford the rent. After food and bus fare, my money's just about all spent. Take a message to the man, whisper it in his ear. Tell him until we see some changes, we're gonna stay right here. Living in America, Tent City, Sacramento. Living in America, Tent City, Spokane. Living in America, Tent City, Washington, D.C. Tent City, all over the place.
Okay, I had to argue with myself here for a second. Yeah, I'll do this.
I got a tip jar down here. It's not a jar, actually. It's like a candy bowl. Or a ceiling light fixture. Well, whatever way it is, it's a receptacle for public support. To augment, shall we say. You know, I do a lot of gigs. Some of them are big, some are small. Some of them I like to go back to, and some of them I just like to put some distance between me and it. This one I like a lot. So if you live out here, I assume most of you probably do, come here often. Just sit around and have a coffee, use the internet. Don't let this place die. Don't let places like this die. Because if Glenn Beck ever runs for president, we're gonna need all the soul food, books, coffee houses we can get. You know what I'm saying? One afternoon as I came home to the building where I lived alone, I met an old man on the stairs as he paused to catch his breath there. His face was drawn and pale, his hand was clenched to grip the rail. He had a long way to go, and his name was Mr. Ondo. Well, I offered him my helping hand, my steady legs to help him stand. My room's upstairs and straight ahead. I'm not feeling very well, he said. We reached the door, he turned the key. He turned around to look at me, and I saw myself in years to come. Thank you, he said. I said, you're welcome. And we all have so far to go. Don't we, Mr. Rondo? Time passed by and all too soon there came another afternoon when I was home alone once more with someone rapping at my door. It was Mr. Rondo looking well, holding out a dollar bill. As so eagerly he bowed his head, "This is for your help," he said. Well, I refused, but he would not relent. And then I saw how much it meant. $1 for the man inside, but that was how he wore his pride. And pride is all that you've got left when they've all gone and you've been left at home alone in the winter's chill. So I took his dollar bill. And we all have so far to go. Oh, don't we, Mr. Rondo? I never saw him after that. The place was sold and that was that. We all had to back up and leave, and he's passed on, I do believe. But sometimes when all is said and done, and I see myself in years to come, I think how fragile this humanity is. Hope someone does the same for me. Cause we all have so far to go. Don't we, Mr. Rondo? Was that? They kind of go together, don't they?
Incorporate the world. Wrecking ball.
Okay. This is my set list designer over here. Todd, good to see you. Todd rhymes with God. He's right, though. This song goes... Sorry?
Fasten your seatbelt for wrecking ball.
Seattle is all cities are interesting, I suppose, but Seattle's the one I know best. You know, it's got all these new buildings in it, and people kind of, it's that short memory thing again. It's like people just kind of assume, I suppose, that new buildings come with the territory. They're just new buildings. They're not just new buildings. There were old ones there, and they had to be torn down. And a lot of the old ones were occupied. That's right, people lived in them. They were low-income apartment buildings, many of them. Low-income people lived in them. Many of them were retired people on fixed incomes. The buildings had to be condemned, people had to be moved out, and then they were torn down, and then they were replaced with things that the former occupants couldn't even afford to go near, let alone live in, you know? And one of those buildings was slated to be torn down, and local Seattle housing activists were trying to save it, and they were getting nowhere fast, and they finally did get nowhere, and the building was torn down. And I was leaving the market area downtown there, Pike Market area, one day, and I saw the big crane with the wrecking ball on the end of it. Boom, gonna knock this thing down. So I thought to myself, well, you know, sometimes the only power you have is your mouth. So this is what I did. Live in the city, an apartment on the second floor. I used to live in the city, an apartment on the second floor. Until the man with the money said I couldn't live there no more. Well, they brought in a wrecking ball and beat it to a hole in the ground. Yeah, they brought in a wrecking ball and beat it to a hole in the ground. They put me outside, I walk and made me homeless in my own hometown. Now tell me who loves a wrecking ball? It's really a friend of mine. Yeah, who loves a Yeah, I serve my country. I love it like a long lost friend. And my country don't love me back. Looks like 'cause I ain't got the money to spend. You know my shoes are wonky wonky and my head is spinning around. Yeah, my shoes are wonky wonky and my head is spinning around. And there's a cop with a ticket telling me I can't sit down. On your shoulder and I'm whipping in your ear. Yeah, I'm tapping on your shoulder and whipping in your ear. I'm only trying to warn you, but you seem to be so hard to hear. I'm thinking dangerous thoughts and I know it ain't the one. I'm thinking dangerous thoughts and I know it ain't the only one. I'm thinking about that wrecking ball and how I'd like to get me one. Well, if I had a wrecking ball turning on the city hall. Yeah, if I had a wrecking ball turning on the city hall. And I stand back and laugh while I watched it fall. That's right. There we go. I grew up in California. I was born in Palo Alto. I was raised in Cupertino, which is outside of San Jose towards the mountains. When I first came to Seattle, I was afraid to tell anybody that. I got here in 1971. And I remember bumper stickers saying, "Don't Californicate Washington," as if it was a localized event. When Bill Gates and Paul Allen came along, well, you know, they weren't from California. Neither is Dory Monson from California. Neither is Michael Medved from California. Greg Nichols wasn't from California. I guess we learn things the slow, long, hard way, don't we? Anyway, my father was a NASA engineer. He was a model builder. He was one of the team of people that built the scale models of the space capsules and projects, and they would be tested in the wind tunnel to see if they behaved the way that the designers wanted them to. Changes would be made, and then another team would build the final. And up it would go. He retired early when they offered it to him. He never knew what those payloads were half the time. I asked him if he knew anything about military spy satellites or anything. He said, no, we didn't know anything. We just designed them. New Year's Day, 1970. A buddy and me got a ride to Berkeley. Oh, I don't know, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. It was early, I don't remember what hour really, but whoever it was took us right to the freeway entrance, headed east. And we stuck out our thumbs and we headed to New York City. I had some Army surplus insulated boots, a surplus flight jacket. It was fleece lined and leather on the outside. Gloves, backpack. 10 days later, when we finally got to New York, that flight jacket was held together by two pieces of rope, one up toward the top and one down in the middle. The insulated boots were all broken down, and I had 55 cents left. My birthday is in August, and I turned 21 in Washington Square Park in Manhattan. There were 3 of us, myself and 2 other people that I met when I was dog, and a box of clothes. And we had been living inside, but there was some gangster activity, some mafia activity. At least that's what I was told. And we were thrown out. We were invited to experience the outdoors, which we did. And we walked down from 22nd Street all the way down to the village, 4th Street. Before dawn, I remember that. Found a park bench and sat down. And for 3.5 months, cardboard can be soft when you want it to. Let me tell you. But I turned 21 out there. Well, it's a dark, distant hour. You've come a long way. And this is no time to be up on your feet. There's no place that's hidden that isn't forbidden. And no one allows for a bed on the street. Keeping late hours, walking the streets. New York till sunset, morning till dawn. To get there was easy, the highway was clear. The sign told you welcome, the water is free. So now you just wait for the snow to melt and the man to come to present you with the key. Keeping late hours, walking the streets. New York till sunset, morning till dawn. You walk and you wonder, has there been a mistake? Maybe they don't know that you're here. And you see the old timers, the day-to-day miners, and you know it's just like that all through the year. Keeping late hours, walking the streets. New York till sunset, morning till dawn. The feel in your pocket, and the feeling is bad. The money you had is all gone and all spent. And the people you knew who said to come by, well, who really knows where they all went? Keeping late hours, walking the streets. New York till sunset, morning till dawn. Do you think about leaving? Do you think you should, wish you should go? Does it cross your mind you should never have come? You soon understand you must leave as you are, and you'll just have to walk, 'cause it's too far to run. Keeping late hours, walking the streets. New York till sunset, morning till dawn. Keeping late hours, walking the streets. New York till sunset, morning till dawn. There was a sneak thief out there. His name is Marcel. Marcel lived, at least I was told, in the, what the hell was it called? Greenwich Hotel, that's right, the Greenwich Hotel. How could I forget? I never knew that for sure, but that's what I was told. Marcel was tall and lean, and he wore a black eye patch. He had no friends that anybody knew about. He was, I don't know, maybe 30, 35 years old. And he had a little pouch on the side of his belt that had bells on it, a couple of little bells on it, so you could hear him coming. He'd walk around just as it was starting to get light in the morning. The sun was not up yet, but it wasn't dark anymore, not really. But everybody was asleep asleep outside on the lawn. The cops hadn't come yet. The cops showed up every morning along about 9, and they would arrest anybody on the lawn. Anybody asleep, they would arrest him and take him off to jail. So all you had to do was wake up, go sit on a park bench, wait for them to sweep, leave, and then go back to sleep. Police activity for you. But Marcel, he would do his rounds when it was starting to get light. And if you were awake and you heard those bells coming, then you knew that Marcel was on the prowl. And you'd catch his eye, you'd look at him, and if you looked at him, he would just keep on going. But if you were asleep and you stepped through it, he'd take whatever he wanted. He'd take your shoes, he'd take your jacket, he'd take your watch, anything you might have. Marcel made enemies. One morning his enemies caught up with him. I was asleep, but I woke up. I'll never forget it. What I heard when I woke up. And I went back to sleep after I heard what I heard. And I woke up later and I saw the crime scene. And then I found out. Let me tell you the story about poor Marcel, how he lived and how he died. How the point of his own hand it cut him in his stride. I knew him well from mornings when I watched him rob the shoes of old men asleep with wine with only shoes to lose. He never said a word, he never made a sound. He never left a footprint when he walked upon the ground. With a black patch eye and a face of solid stone, he came and went just like a ghost and always went alone. Well, it was in the middle of the afternoon, the day was hot and bright, when two small boys came into his sight. Who are you, they said to him, and tell us what you have. Marcel, he just turned his back, I never saw him laugh. The oldest was 11, the youngest he was 8. Marcel pulled a knife and he flashed it in their face. Get out of here, he said to them, or I'll cut you to the bone. They ran off away in fright and left him there alone. Well, it was on the very next morning, as the sky was growing gray, that two men pulled the knives that were to take his life away. Someone cried, is there anybody here? A man could bleed to death. Oh my God, what kind of place is this? Then someone come a-running, but by then it was too late. For poor Marcel had already met his fate. The air hung hot, there was a running on the ground, and all you could hear was that park motor sound. On the blanket where the preacher slept, Marcel's blood did flow. I'm afraid that your time has come, I think you'd better know. And 7 hours later, as the police shook their heads, 7 hours later, poor Marcel was dead. Well, there are those who say that it makes no sense anybody could be dead. And then again, there are those who know and there's nothing to be said. But I just told a story, call it truth or call it lie. It's just about poor Marcel, how he lived and how he died.
Thank you. I got a bunch of CDs here, and some of them are really, really good. And some of them are just good. Okay.
Repetitive poet's injury. Repetitive truth injury.
Repetitive truth injury. I like that one. Okay, and this is a song off of I made one down here called Folk Punch, and it's me and Artist the Spoon Man. A lot of you probably know who Artist the Spoon Man is. Yeah. Anyway, we've done a bunch of stuff together over the years, and we finally got into the studio and recorded something. And if you like what Artist does, then you'll like that. If you don't, I don't recommend it. And if you don't know, like, what is Artist the Spoon Man, I would suggest maybe getting another one first. But it's a very particular sort of thing. He's a spoon player. A wonderful, great spoon player. But he's also an interjectory artist, is how I'd have to say it. He interjects things. Anyway, this is a song from him. It's called Fundamental Frenzy. There's a crowd outside my window. I can hear them in the street. It's a new evangelistics in a missionary heat. Saviors of the innocent, guardians of right. It's the day before tomorrow, in the middle of the night. You got shiny white faces, sing a faraway song. Show you pictures of Jesus as a blue-eyed blonde. Riding like a savior on a big white horse, with one hand bearing gifts and the other hand to enforce. Fundamental frenzy, fundamental rain. Fundamental frenzy taking us back to the Middle Ages. Now the devil is a foreigner, and he has to be destroyed throughout this great wide world where his demons are deployed. In anybody's country, on anybody's sea, when you're exorcising evil, you invent your own morality. In the language of the prophecies, they talk about a time when they wage the final battle for the kingdoms of divine. And in the valley of the showdown, the fires will rage, and God's ferocious hand will turn the final page. Fundamental frenzy, fundamental rage. Fundamental frenzy taking us back to the Middle Ages. So now they're counting down the hours in the grains of sand
as they reach for Armageddon with their eager little hands. And there's an idol on a nose cone, triggered to explode, and a disappearing future at the end of the glory road. Now I don't mind your religion or the cut of your clothes, but I gotta keep my eye out to where your shadow goes. You wanna meet your maker, that's your choice to choose. You wanna take me with you, I'm gonna have to refuse. Fundamental friends, they fundamental rain. Fundamental friends are taking us back to the Middle
Oh, that's really good. I don't know who made that. You made it for me.
Well, it's starting to rain. Starting to get cold, it's starting to rain. It's winter time, I'm told, and it's starting to rain. Yeah, maybe even starting to snow, but it's starting to rain. Wintertime, don't you know, and I'm wandering around. Wandering around on the east side in Redmond town. Wandering around on the east side. What do I do? What do I see? Well, I guess I could go hang around in the QFC or the Office Depot. Half-price books, I could get myself a jaywalking ticket maybe and hang out with some of them crooks downtown. In the Redmond City Jail, what do I do? Knocking my head on the wall, and every time I take a move I just seem to fail. What do I do? Well, it's starting to get cold. Big clouds are rolling in. It's starting to get cold. Oh man, it's wintertime again. I ain't getting nothing for Christmas. I know that. I never do. The money just goes out and never comes in. That ain't what my life is all about. Can't get on welfare. I don't make enough. Yeah, what do I do? Put my hands in my pockets, start walking around. Eyeballs popping out of my sockets. I'm walking around in Redmond town. Yeah, there's that QFC. Yeah, there's that Office Depot. Wait a minute, what's that thing over in the corner? Edible paperbacks? Hey, I'm not seeing right. I'm walking a little bit closer. Edible paperbacks. Soul food? Can't eat books. What are you talking? Come on, soul food. Oh, I guess Creole books. Louisiana Creole books. That's what that is. Okay. I'm not interested in that. I got better things to do. A bunch of people in there. Some guy sitting on stage playing the. What the hell is that thing he's playing? Oh, it's a guitar. In a bookstore? He's playing guitar in a Creole bookstore. Wow. Well, maybe it's warm in there at least. I don't have any money for anything, but I'll go stand in the back. I'll go stand in the back, I say, as I go across that parking lot, sidle up to the bookstore whose name I forgot, and I go up to the door and I pull it open wide and I sneeze myself inside. And it's warm in the back there by the Christmas tree and the flashing lights and all that other stuff, and if things work out right, no one will see me and get mad. I can sit down and hunker down, sit down, hungry down, sit down, hungry town, hunker down, hungry town. I'm in hunker down, hungry town. That's what I've been doing, hunker down, hungry town. But now I'm in Redmond town. A
across the parking lot from the QFC and way out of the way of the Office Depot, and here I am in the edible bookstore, the Creole bookstore, the guy's up there playing the guitar, and he's making up a song about me. The hell, he doesn't even know me. He doesn't even know I'm in here. I'm hiding. Nobody can see me. Someone keeps shouting out about railroad tracks. I ain't seen any railroad tracks. Who's that shouting? Oh, that's the same guy that was standing up talking about repetitive stress disorder. Who in the world is that guy anyway? Let me think. I'm getting the vibe now. I'm getting a name. I'm getting a name. T-O. Todd. Yeah, I'll stop there because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Hunkering down the back here by the postcards. That guy's still making up songs sitting up there. He was singing them earlier on. I guess he must have gotten bored or something. Doesn't know I'm in here, but it's warm in here. Wow. It's really close to the railroad tracks is what that Todd Boyle guy keeps saying over and over again. The Todd Boyle guy, whose name I am not going to say out loud, he's talking about railroad tracks. And I don't know if there are railroad tracks, but there must be, because he knows the town and I don't. It's 100 feet over there, railroad tracks, and I must have walked right across them without even noticing, because I had my mind all set on the Creole bookstore, so I didn't even notice the things. And I've been homeless in this town for a long time, but here I am inside the SoulFood book, sitting in the back there by a bunch of little wearable Buddha medallions. Somebody giving a palmistry reading over there, and the guy that owns the place is going to do an international music concert in the Himalayan mountains in March. What sense does that make, for God's sake? I didn't pay taxes for that kind of nonsense. I want guns and ammunition for my tax dollars, not music in the Himalayan mountains. Next thing you know, we'll be learning other people's languages. Not right. I'm an American. I only speak American. Well, that's right. There isn't such thing as American. Well, you know what I'm saying. I'm American. You know what I'm saying. I don't have anything. I have no health care, no job, no future, no place to live, but I'm an American, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the fact that my country doesn't give me anything. I'm proud of the fact that my country is... I'm abandoned by the greatest country in the world. Let's put it like that. I am proud to be abandoned by the greatest country in the world. Or to quote Michael Medved, I'm proud to be abandoned by the greatest country in God's green earth. God's green earth. There, I said it. I'm sitting down and watch. I gotta play the guitar here in the Creole bookstore. There's no Creole food. So I guess what I'm saying. Guess what I'm trying to sing is, if we keep on going, you never know what the future might bring. Maybe it'll turn upside down. Maybe it already is, in which case it'll go upside right. Maybe it looks so dark and dismal because it's in the middle of the night, but then the day starts to come on, starts to lighten up, and everything looks just fine. And you know you got a future crawling up the back of your mind, and the future is yours. That's right, and the future is mine. So you never know. I guess what I'm saying is, just keep on going. Keep on coming down. And even if there's nobody playing on guitar on that stage, come on in, sit down, hang, because it's yours. All good friends of mine are the heroes and survivors of a terrible time. Two great peoples, separated by the sea, joined in understanding of a great calamity. Oh, great calamity. 1831, it was the darkest of their years. Andrew Jackson drove the Choctaw on the Trail of Tears with a saber and the rifle on a 1,000-mile drive to the land of Oklahoma. Only half would survive. Only half would survive. They called a reservation. It was a cloud without a wire. 100 years later, the Germans would admire, surrounded by a state that held the lock and key to the vision of their future and their free humanity. Oh, the free humanity.
half a world away. In the emerald Irish land, famine stalked the countryside with doom on every hand. Starvation, desperation. Driven to extremes, they died eating grass, their mouths stained with green. Oh, their mouths stained with green. And it was the British Empire that held the lock and key to their island reservation and their free humanity across the hungry countryside. They walked the trail of tears through death and immigration. Half the people disappeared. Half the people disappeared. News travels fast when it goes from hand to hand all across the mighty ocean to the Oklahoma land. And when the Choctaw heard the story of the Irish and their plight, they knew they were related, though their skins were red and white. Oh, their skins were red and white. And though their hands were nearly empty and their lands were nearly bare, they collected all the money that they thought that they could spare, and they sent it off to Ireland to their unknown new friends. $700, it was a fortune to them then. It was a fortune to them then. Now you may wonder at my story, you may marvel at its worth, but I tell you there is goodness in the people of the earth, and I tell you there is beauty in the darkness of the days, and a light to come shine and blow the darkness all away. Blow the darkness all away. Thank you. It's a song about the Irish and the Choctaw people. How the Choctaw people took up a collection. Music is a fine delight to serenade a winter's night. Beneath your window I would go, sing the only song I know. Oh, and if you sang it too, I would fall again so it seems, enchanted by a waking dream. A vision come to me so real, can't deny the way it made me feel. Oh, and if you felt that way too, I could fall in love again with you. If I fell in love again with you, would I be the fool in the middle of the air? Welcome to this homeless heart. Is anybody there? Dark red sun behind the sky, watching through the world's eye. A mystery that no one knows, just where all the sorrow goes. Oh, there's a faith to see it through. Fall in love again with you.
Whoa, hello. One more time.
Oh, the sun goes up and the sun goes down, and all the merry planets are spinning around, hanging on to a little green piece of ground. Everything is round. All around the lost and found, tubular bells make a tubular sound, and the rolling balls that go rolling around. Everything is round. You can find inside a straight line, you can try it if you may, but I guarantee that straight line is going to turn around. So everything is round. Well, there's a crazy man beating on a big skin drum, and everybody waiting on the kingdom come, while every other king just comes undone. Everything is round. Starting from the Mother Earth, learning what a circle's worth, returning to the place of birth, and everything is round. You can calculate the answer, you can call it MC squared, but if space and time are truly curved, there are no squares out there. Everything is round. Well, if God could speak, he'd have to say, forget about the judgment day, there's no straight and narrow anyway. Everything is round. Entropy and institution, a convoluted evolution, revolving every revolution, and everything is round. Everything is round. Everything is round. Everything is
Spirit. He is here. He is here. I'll finish up with that. But I want to sing this first. This is a story told to me by Jeffrey Kane. Jeffrey Kane passed away a few years ago. He was a singer and a songwriter and a guitar player guy from California, from Marin County, a little town called Fairfax. And he was a really nice guy, and he was really good, and he was very sincere. And I met him in Seattle in '71 when I wound up doing an opening for him at a gig on Capitol Hill. He was late. He was so late he missed a sound check, and nobody knew if he was going to make the gig or not. It was before cell phones, so no one knew where he was. He couldn't tell anybody where he was. And I was on stage for about an hour before he came in through the door. And they said, everybody went, "Whew, boy, he's here." They didn't have to give people their money back and deal with an angry crowd and so on. So he went on and did his show. And then a few years later, in '73 or '4, I don't remember which, I wound up down in Fairfax doing a gig at the Sleeping Lady Cafe. And it was either a double bill or he just came to see me. I don't remember. But I wound up staying at his place and spent some time with him. And we drove around. I remember he had a wife or girlfriend or something who was driving the car, and he and I would sing songs to each other. He was in the front seat and I was in the back, something like that. That's what I remember anyway. And I realized that the better songs that he had were not the ones that he played on stage. He didn't play the really good ones on stage for some reason. It's like he felt like he needed to make people like him or something, and so he didn't want to ruffle any feathers. And the stuff that he sang for me when we just passed the guitar back and forth, some of them were really, really good. They were very deep and contemplative songs. And also he explained to me why he was late that night in 1971 when I opened for him in Seattle. And it was such a good story that it had to be a song. Yeah, I know what you're ready for, but that's not what you're going to get. Well, I'll tell you a story, my friend. From the Vietnam days way back when, body counts mountain on the wall. You had to do something about it all. That's when the singer took a trip to Washington State. It was a good day to travel on the interstate. 2 hitchhikers, all of 19, traveling real light with their head shades clean. The singer picked him up, he had room in the car. He says, "I'll take you where you're going if it's not too far." "We're going up to Canada," they said, it kind of slow. "Seems like the place to go." You can trust a stranger if you give him a chance, and there's a million stories in a sideways glance. The singer knew he had a long-range view. "I'm only going to Seattle," he said, "but I'll see what I can do." Now the interstate's a long, straight, blacktop line. You can do a lot of thinking while the time unwinds. Leaving California for the evergreen land, pretty soon the singer had a plan. Stopping for supplies like anybody might do. Get a map and a compass and a flashlight too. Canteens for water, fruiting up the last, going on to Seattle. But they drive right past. Almost to the border, take the side road at the hill. Here's your map and your compass and a $20 bill. Canada's that way, it's a straight shot. Good luck and goodbye, and don't get caught. And then the singer drove away in a darkening breeze, and 2 shadows disappeared in the evergreen trees. And that's a measure of a war. Try to tip the balance just a little bit more. I was there when the singer came in late, muttering something about the interstate.
The songs were good and the music was fine, and that's what kept us going most of the time. And that's the end of my story, my friend. From the Vietnam days way back when, about a singer on the road and the AWOL kid. Well, you had to do something, and that's what they did. That's what he did. And that's gutsy, because I think they could put you away for a long time for that. You know. Oh, I don't have much time left. Okay, let me think. I got to think. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I just have to order things. I'm going to do this, and then do that. I got 3 more songs. I got to play 3 more songs. Is that okay, Clint? 3 more songs. Okay, good. I have my tip jar here, which some people have. A couple of people have actually, visited. This is the other side of the coin, I suppose. Not really the other side of the coin, because the other side of the coin would be real nasty. But this is just kind of good old times stuff, I guess. I have 5 guitars, I think, something like that. This is the one that does everything. This is the one that I take around with me. It's a Martin D35, and it does everything. Everything. And if it gets broken or whatever, you just go out and get another one. They're a little expensive, but it's an assembly line guitar. When I went to the factory, it blew my mind, because I always had this romantic thing about guitars. And then you go to where they're made and you see it's an assembly line. I don't care what the name is on there. It's an assembly line. And they're good people working in, but it's an assembly line. It's like a furniture store. And you think, oh, God, it's a furniture store. And it kind of it doesn't ruin anything. It just kind of demystifies, I guess. But back home, I've got a 1965 Epiphone Texan. And if you know anything about acoustic guitars, that's the one that should make you go, oh. They don't make those anymore. Epiphones are now made in Japan, I think. Aren't they still made in Japan, Clint? Yeah. Epiphone was originally 2 Greek brothers in New York or somewhere back there. Epiphone. I don't know how to pronounce it, actually, but that's what everybody says. And they made this guitar, and they were kind of competing with Gibson, and Gibson bought them out. And for a number of years, Epiphone was made by Gibson. In 1965 was like the peak of the good Epiphones made by Gibson. So basically what it is it's an old J45, Gibson J45. It's a slope-shouldered sunburst J45. It's a gorgeous thing. They're beautiful. They're great. It's a great thing. And it was given to me by a friend of mine named Chris Ramey. And Chris is not here to speak for himself, so I have to speak for him. Chris Ramey gave me this guitar. We'd been friends for years and we came this far, living in a world of folk clubs and bars, songs for every season, and we sang them on the steel string guitar. Chris Ramey was a big man, and he sang a big song, and in my younger days I tagged along. He had a big life, he lived it right out loud, head and shoulders over everybody else in the crowd. He rode with the pranksters, he knew Neil Cassidy too, Janis Joplin lit a candle for him and almost rendezvous, Jesse Fuller, Margot St. James, everybody knew Chris Ramey, and he knew them all the same, all the same. Well, he could drink you under the table, he could trip you over the moon, he could tell more tales in a carny bar on a Saturday afternoon. He had a heart of gold, he was golden to the core, he'd give her the shirt off his back, and if you needed a bed, he'd sleep on the floor. Now I lost track of Ramey, he lost track of me, and I heard he was selling cars down in the valley. His guitar was in the closet, strings were old and dead, but he still had all those songs in his head, I said, hey Chris,
kids out there nowadays. They seem so young, they need a master like you to show them how it's done, how it's done. Well, he's a little rusty at first. Then the rust was dusted off. The magic came alive, and the songs woke up like a sleeper on the rebound. In a long tangential dream, Chris Rain, he was back on the scene, on the scene. He got himself a good set of wheels in that used car lot. He put a PA in the trunk and he went out gigging while the gigging was hot. He got a brand new repertoire. Fine sight to see, and with his harmonica buddy Jimmy Durant, he made his first CD. Yes, he did. And the music was alive. He was living in the zone, and he loved those old Gibsons and Epiphones. He knew I did too. He was almost biology, so whenever he found a good one, he'd show it to me. He'd show it to me. Chris Ramey gave me this guitar. When he knew the time was near, he said, go pick the one that speaks to your Jim and get it out of here. So I took this old slope shoulder with a sunburst top. It made bells beneath my fingers and it wouldn't let me stop, let me stop. So sing a song for laughter, sing a song for tears, sing a song for old friends who've known you all these years. Sing a song for leaving, another one for when you're gone. For life is just a melody waiting for a song. So I'm going to do two more songs. The first one I'm going to do is a title song for my new CD, which is called Ghost Bikes, and the song is called Ghost Bikes. And y'all know what a ghost bike is, yes? No. Okay, a bicycle rider gets killed by a car. The local bicycle community sometimes will put up a ghost bike as a monument. They take an old bicycle that no one's using or is donated, and they strip it. They take the gears off of, not the gears, but they take the brakes off it, the lights, that sort of thing, and then they'll paint it flat white. Not gloss white so that it reflects, but flat white. And then they'll chain it right there to a lamppost or a stop sign or whatever, right there where the accident happened. And that's a ghost bike. There's a new one I passed down on 4th Avenue a few days ago, downtown. Seattle doesn't like them all that much, you know. Seattle takes them down. Some towns, Eugene is very bicycle friendly, although they got a lot of bonehead bicycle riders down there going around all night long with no headlights, all dressed in black. Like it's really cool. I'm an anarchist bicycle rider. Yeah, I almost got killed by those people. Because you can't see them. But the town of Eugene is friendly to ghost bikes. It's a very cool record. It was recorded live in the studio in front of an audience. Okay, we had about 30, 35 people in there. And it's myself and Grant Dermody on the harmonica. He's like a Sonny Boy Williamson kind of harmonica player. He plays a lot these days with Eric Bibb. They travel all over the world. And Michael Gray playing the fiddle, Sparky. Plays with Pearl Django, that's his band. Doing Django Reinhardt stuff and Capelli stuff. He's a great, great fiddle player. Aaron Corday sings backup vocals, and Joel Litwin plays shoebox with brushes, briefcase with his thumbs, and dried pasta shells. And I can't do the fiddle and harmonica and the shoebox at the same time. On this song, you'll have to imagine it. The shoebox is a really cool kind of rhythm on it. It's great. Anyway, Ghost Bikes.
Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Bicycles. All over town. Dangerous streets. They'll run you down. Memorialized among the stars with wildflowers on your handlebars. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Bicycles. As free as a breeze. What could be more humane than these? Like pedal birds, that's what they are. Don't stand a chance against a car. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. This country was built on petroleum wheels. Factory whistles and business deals. You could be a traitor to the bottom line. You know they don't even see you till it's too late sometimes. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Somebody got hit on a Saturday night. They took a bicycle and they painted it white. Now it's a ghost bike. Poetry and an epitaph. Keepsakes and a photograph. Could have been somebody that you almost knew. Could have been you. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. A long time ago, somebody invented a wheel. And somebody else said, well, this is going to be a big deal. Humanity is going to have to decide whether to asphyxiate itself or go out for a ride. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. If you want to change the world, do it one step at a time. Get out of that dinosaur and leave it behind. So write a poem, sing a song. Life goes on, so get back on. Ride for everybody who has ever ridden before. And ride some more. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. I thought I saw a ghost. Ghost bikes. I thought I saw a ghost. Okay, I'm going to finish up with this song. I don't know where. Oh, there you are. Been waiting patiently all night. This is a sing-along. I don't like sing-alongs. I never have. I just always thought they were. I don't know. It's just. But this is a sing-along, and it works, and it's very cool when it does.
Stand up. Stand up.
I'm not going to stand up. You're standing up. I'm going to sit down.
Get off that chair and stand up. Sing.
What the hell are you?
You lazy ass.
Damn right. I know what you've been doing during the breaks. So there's a little story behind this song as to why it got written, and it's a good one. The WTO events happened in Seattle, November 30th, 1999. Okay, people from all over the world came to that town, and they successfully shut down the meetings. They had help from inside because there were African delegates, Asian delegates who felt like it was just nonsense from the beginning, and so they walked out. And so things were inside and outside, but it was shut down. About 6 months later, I don't know, 4 months later, whatever it was, I think it was April, up in Canada, in Quebec City, was the FTAA meetings, the Free Trade of the Americas. And now there are two red flag words in there, free and trade. Especially when you put together free trade. It's like, free for who is what you have to ask. You know, it was a mini WTO, a regional WTO thing. And so the organizers were afraid that the same thing that happened in Seattle would happen up there, that activist people would come up and they would shut it down. And they didn't want that to happen. And so they spent a lot of money to build this security fence. And it was a very expensive fence. Millions they spent on this thing. And it was promoted to the people who paid for it and to the world, to everybody. You could drive a car into it and it wouldn't fall down. That's what they said. You could drive a car into it and it wouldn't fall down. Great, fine, perfect. So there I am. I'm up in Derby Line, which is Vermont, right there on the border. It's a border town. I got a sick friend who's manning an IMC. Her name was Marcia Burnett. She was wonderful, and she, you know, so I didn't think I'd get to see her too much more. Maybe never if I didn't. So I spent the few days up there at her place, helping with that little thing there, and she was giving an interview to a local television or radio or something, whatever it was, when somebody nudged me. Said, look, the TV was on over there in the corner to the only English language Quebec TV station, okay? So this thing was live coverage of what was going on. The sound was off, but the picture was there. And the picture that they were showing over and over again, like if they showed it enough times, maybe it wouldn't be true, was there's the fence, and then there's all these black bloc kids, right? You know, the anarchists from Eugene. You know, they all weigh like 97 pounds because they're vegans. You know, they're all about 18, 19 years old, and they're vegans. And they don't weigh anything. They're paper. They're made out of paper. And this one teenager who's made out of paper and is dressed in black with a black ski mask and everything climbs up on top of that fence and is rocking it back and forth, and it falls over. And everybody stands there and looks at it. The cops look at it, and the activists look at it, and the people that take it in the TV station look at it, and they show it again. Well, it fell over. It still fell over. It keeps, no matter how many times they showed it, it kept falling over. It was the fence that wasn't supposed to fall down, and it did. So it just seemed like a wonderful thing to me. So here's this song, and it is a sing-along. You can do what you want, but you know, here we go. Born of nature, and in nature we will die. Oh, and if we don't make it, it's not because we didn't try. No, it's not because we didn't try. They say they will incorporate the world over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over mine. They have all the money, we have the will, and I would rather be a match than a paper dollar bill. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. They have the guns, all we are is flesh and blood, but we will multiply. Drown them in our flood. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. They say they will incorporate the world over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over my.
had the will, and I would rather be a match than a paper dollar bill. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. They have all the power, that's what they say, but we will turn those tables, take the power away. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. We will not be dissuaded, and we will not turn around. We will fix the barricades, and we will tear them down. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. They say they will incorporate the world. Over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over my. You can't call me a fool, that's alright with me. I will live to see this good round world breaking free. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. They say they will incorporate the world. Over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over my. They say they will incorporate the world. Over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over my. So there you have it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'll do one more song. Would you turn off the DI? I just want to use the mic. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. I want to do this song. I should have done this song, and I didn't. So I'm going to do it now. Yeah. Thank you very, very, very much. My tip hat. I got CDs. And a lot of these songs are on some of those CDs. This one is written by Jim Hind. Jim passed away a couple of years back, but he will not be forgotten. He wrote this. He was a Navy vet, Vietnam Navy vet, and this is his song, his story, comes from his life. Well, I was 18 and change when the telephone rang, calling me to report to the sea. Vietnam War raised on every front page of the country. So I sailed to the war of a faraway shore, with boys no wiser than I, too young to vote, hoping too young to die, serving time for the crime of being born American male, where sons become brothers in arms or brothers in jail. Well, perhaps it was love or self-prescribed drugs, or the limbo of lost out at sea, sailing that line beyond reason and rhyme, Frank, Dennis, and me. Oh, I recall the resorts and all the opium ports, but truth shines later in life. For the plight of the pawn, it pales in the light of the king. How convenient is a God who would spare not the rod and send his only child to die, when in the hands of a power intent on only saving a life. I turned 21 years old, coming home from the South China Sea, slapping paint on the rust of the sinking American dream.
And did the home fires burn for the hero's return? Or was the red carpet rolled to the sea? Where was the parade when democracy was saved by Frank, Dennis, and me? Well, I can see in my son where he'd have marched to the gun, how his soul would wither and die. I know how that goes. Far too long it's been happening to mine. May the damage done me by the powers that be never be done unto mine. And may the criminals and foes be exposed by history and time. For Dennis and I swore that the Vietnam War will have ended at the moment when honor prevails with justice demanded. And as the names on the wall of the Washington Mall await the dead to return from the sea, those veterans still dying a day at a time with Frank, Dennis, and me. Dennis and I swore that the Vietnam War will have ended at the moment when honor prevails with justice demanded. And as the names on the wall of the Washington Mall await the dead to return from the sea, those veterans still dying a day at a time with Frank, Dennis, and me. Thank you. Oh yeah, they're right there. It's folk punch, right there. That one right there. Thank you. Oh, I enjoy it. I love playing here. I don't know why. There's just something about it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Sit very still one day. Sitting very still one day. Sitting very still one day. I heard a tree sing a song. That's right, it sang a long song. 'Cause it has the time. Sang songs of the growing things, the green things, the great and small things, and of the glory of the light which brings us life. It said we got roots running so very deep that they meet, and I'm here stuck on repeat singing we got roots running so very deep that they meet. Birds like I, entranced in a train, are just singing harmony. After all, everything moves with a majestic rhythm and beat. Om Burva Suva Tatsavitur Varinyam Bargo Devasya Demahi Diyoyona Prachodayat. Om Burva Suva Tatsavitur Varinyam Bargo Devasya Demahi Diyoyona Prachodayat. That's part of the Gayatri mantra, anyway. Sitting very still one day, sitting very still one day, sitting very still one day, I heard a tree sing a song. That's right, it sang a long song, 'cause it has the time. Sang songs of the growing things, the green things, the great and small things, and of the glory of the light which brings us life. It said we got roots running so very deep that they meet, and I'm here stuck on repeat singing we got roots running so very deep that they meet. Like I entranced in a train or just singing harmony. After all, everything moves with a majestic rhythm and beat. Om Burva Suva Tatsavitur Varinyam Bargo devasya demahi diyoyona prachodayat. Om Bhurvasava Tatsavitur Varinyam Bargo devasya demahi